Welcome to episode 146 of the Thunder Underground podcast. My name's Trent. This is Jason, and it's Happy Halloween time.
Yep, happy Halloween. Eat all your candy corns, even though they're disgusting.
Hey, I don't dislike candy corn.
Oh man,
I don't like it either. It's just there.
You know what I always hated was people, you'd go up to their house and you trick or treat, and they give you like a little religious pamphlet,
Right.
about giving your soul to Jesus or you're gonna burn in hell. And I'm 7.
Yeah.
Anyways,
When they could have just gave you a Payday or a Mr. Goodbar.
that's right. A whatchamacallit. I mean something.
Yeah.
That would have saved my immortal soul at that time.
Right? Well, this week, we thought, Halloween episode, we can't have some pop singer on here, so we need to have...
No. Have
something
we ever had pop singers on here?
I don't know. That's just what came out of my mouth. So.
Oh, man.
Yeah, we had CJ from Grind. He's a pop singer in his time away from the band,
Good Lord.
Anyway,
Well,
we had to have a band that fit the bill, right?
yes.
I called up Kenny Hickey. He wasn't available.
Damn
I
it.
still couldn't get that Doyle episode that we did recovered from my computer. So
Why would you want to?
because
Shortest interview in the world.
because I love Doyle,
Oh,
and you do
well,
too.
He doesn't love us, I'll tell you
No,
that much.
He loves you. Get over it. So we've got Gravehuffer right there alone. This band fits the bill based off the name,
They sure do.
the imagery, and the music. Kicks ass.
I love the pentagram with the coffin thing. I love that. That's
Yeah.
badass.
Yeah. We got Mike and Ritchie here.
Yeah.
We're going to get to that interview here in just a bit. We're going to play you a song. Before we do, we want to talk about Trivium.
Yes.
Trivium's brand new album just hit about a couple weeks ago, The Sin and the Sentence. And, what can you say? Every album that Trivium has ever done, I've liked.
Yeah.
But, as you pointed out, everyone is a little bit different, so not everybody likes every album they put out.
Yeah.
And I haven't really read anything or heard from anybody else, but to me, right off the bat, this sounds more like something that, if you're a fan of the classic style that Trivium started with, or
Mhm.
what they're more known for, you should probably like this album, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I listened to this thing straight away right when it came out, and I was waiting for you to catch up
Yeah,
so we could talk about it.
right.
I'm just kidding. It's the other way around. Actually, I suck. But no, it's, they kind of have a different, it's like, I don't want to explain this wrong. I mean, what I'm thinking in my head, but they have kind of a different vibe every album, which I don't know. Now that I say that aloud, it sounds a little silly. Most bands do, but it just seems like, I don't know. They've kind of got a different dress on each time they come out.
Right. Well, you say most bands do, but most bands don't do it as drastic as they do.
Yes.
They're doing it like the Cult used to do it,
Yes, that's perfect. That's okay. Gotcha. Good. That's exactly right. I totally, I mean, you always know it's them, but cause kind of, Silence in the Snow kind of had maybe a power metal feel to it a little bit.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that's the one that lost a lot of people. Were kind of
exactly
down on just
and,
because.
What I thought was weird was, and I could be wrong, but I really remember hearing, Matt Heafy on, I think it was the Josta show, talking about, this is what he wants to do, and he wants to just sing. But he's kind of gone back on that, and he's gotten more of the growling kind of stuff going back, kind of got that back a little bit, which is fine, which is great. It's just, the many faces of Trivium, and that's not necessarily a bad thing.
No.
But,
I mean, I know you love Silence in the Snow, and
yeah.
I did too, but right out the gate, I think I like this new one better.
Okay.
I mean, like you said, it's a different feel, but it's kind of like, I'm one of those people, I don't care if a band's changing the sound, if I still like it, that's cool, whatever. But with Trivium, I just kind of, I don't know, I guess I just like what I started liking from Trivium. And the funny thing with Trivium is every time they put out a new album, I'll listen to it a decent amount.
Yeah.
And then I just won't.
Anytime
I think I'm going to listen to Trivium, I go back to the beginning.
Yeah.
They're one of those bands that I just go to like Light to the Flies or Ascendancy or something. That's just what I gravitate back towards. And then the next time comes out and I listen to this one heavy, like I did with Silent Snow, and I just stopped one day and never again for a long time. And now here I am with the new album.
It's funny you mentioned that. I was thinking that on the way home today. It's, I really get into them when they got a new album out, but I don't know, it kind of wanes. I'm not a good Trivium fan. Right. I have to admit, and that's my problem that I need to address.
Yeah.
But, but really, let's just get back to this album.
Okay. Well, the thing about this album,
we're going off here a little bit.
There are tons of great riffs, memorable riffs, catchy riffs, amazing solos. But saying that about a Trivium album is like saying that The Grass is Green or Vince Neil sucks live. We all know that. That's what's going to happen.
Okay.
So you don't listen to a Trivium album and say, man, I hope that the guitar works good on this album. It's always kicks ass.
It's going to be.
And I've always liked, like you said, it's got the growling back in here. The heavy stuff mixed with his singing is really cool. Mm-hmm. And then like that title track, was released, a month or two before the album. Yeah. And I was really digging that.
That's a great song.
And then right off the bat, that second song, Beyond Oblivion, this one is like as classic Trivium as you can get. I think you listen to this and I think if they don't play this live every show for the rest of their career, they're doing themselves a disservice.
Yeah.
This is like the chorus to this thing is not only reminds me of just old school huge metal choruses, but also it's just 100% Trivium.
Yeah, it is. I mean, their signature sound. And, I like The Heart From Your Hate. I really love that song.
Yeah.
And they always kind of throw in a song that is still them and it's still heavy, but maybe could get on the radio.
Yeah.
And they always kind of have that. And those are well crafted. They can do anthem, almost, I don't want to say ballad, but for lack of a better term, they do that very well without, sounding like, fuckheads or anything. So, Sever the Hand has got a badass fucking solo on it. I love that. This is a great record. And, I like we say, I don't mind the rough vocals coming back into the mix, I mean, that's another reason why we like Trivium.
Yeah. Beauty and the Sorrow is my favorite song on here.
Gotcha.
Besides Beyond Oblivion, but it's probably Beauty and the Sorrow.
Yeah.
It's just that riff and that thing is undeniable. It's just a great album. I don't know where it stands in the list of Trivium albums, but it's a good one and it's surely worthy of being on a top 20 list for the year of 2017.
It's going to make my list. And I think that they've probably had more drummers than Spinal Tap did.
Well, I was going to ask you, did it stand out to you? Because it's a guy that we know and love.
And Alex Bent.
Yeah, this is his first album with
and
the
that
band.
guy's played with everybody.
Yeah, most notably Battlecross.
Yes, our pals in Battlecross.
Right, who is another band who's had a turnover in drummers many times.
Yes.
But it's kind of cool to see Alex Bent, get a higher profile gig. I guess that's what this would be considered. So, yeah, I mean, hopefully they got that figured out and keep this lineup together because it sounds kick-ass to me. Well, we got anything else we want to talk about before we get into some Your Fault?
I think that's it. I think we need to get into some Gravehuffer.
Okay.
I'm going to huff some graves.
All right. This is the title track to their album Your Fault, but it is not officially on the released version of Your Fault. It will be on the re-release, which will be in vinyl this coming spring.
Yes, which I'm going to buy.
Damn right. Check this out. Your Fault.
1960s represented the last burst of the human being before he was extinguished. And that this is the beginning of the rest of the future now. And from now on, there'll simply be all these robots walking around, feeling nothing, thinking nothing.
Did and reflect upon your
nobody left almost to remind them that there once was a species called a human being, with feelings and thoughts, and that history and memory are right now being erased, and soon nobody will really remember that life existed on the planet.
Your Fault from Gravehuffer, off their forthcoming re-release of the Your Fault album on vinyl through Bluntface Records. We talk all about that here in just a bit with the band. But yeah, I mean, these guys kick ass, and kind of like they talked about in this interview, you know, their newer stuff's kind of got a little bit different sound, and I noticed that from this song.
Yeah.
You know, it's got a little bit different vibe than the stuff on Your Fault album did. Got that classic crust punk vibe to it.
Yes. I think I called them heavy concrete.
Yeah.
You know,
I forgot about that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know, this one's a ball squasher.
For sure.
As I like to say.
All right. Well, let's just get into this right now. This is Ritchie and Mike from Gravehuffer.
I would love to go. Like I'm from Midwest City.
Okay.
And then, like in the 4th or 5th grade, I moved to Tulsa, and I lived there till high school, and I moved to Joplin in high school. So, like the old Tulsa scene, man, I really like the old Tulsa punk scene and stuff.
So do you know about this documentary, The Old Capitol Underground?
Yeah, I saw a link to it, but I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
Yeah, it does. I saw Chad Malone. He posted something about it a couple of times. So, yeah, I lived in Tulsa when I was, like, 6 years old till I was, like, 10. You know, like when I was a little kid, like North Tulsa. but, yeah, I'm interested to see that, too.
Yeah, they covered a lot of ground, it looks like.
Yeah. We did actually play in Tulsa quite a bit.
We used to play in Tulsa a lot when we were in Initial Detonation.
Okay.
And Crom. Yeah, in Crom we played at the Marquee a lot.
Yeah, we opened for DRI and Death Angel and Vader and Immolation down there.
Nice.
But we miss playing down there, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, it'd be cool to see you guys down here.
There's stuff going on behind the scenes. We're trying to get our drummer situation kind of like ironed out, and then once that's done, then we're going to hit the road for sure.
Cool. Well, what's the status on that? Are you guys like auditioning people, or do you have someone already in mind, that kind of thing?
Yeah, we have a guy, but we don't have a jam spot yet. And like, it's kind of like right on the verge of two of us getting a jam spot, but things are in motion, but it's tough to get everybody on the same page because everybody has to work so much, and you know, it's just everybody has their lives to live, and this is like 4th or 5th on the to-do list. You know?
Yeah, it kind of is.
So it's kind of hard for everybody. And this drummer that we're trying to get, like he's from the old scene, but he lives in Springfield, which is about an hour away. So it's tough for us to get together. But he says he's like got the songs down, and he's a bad motherfucker. I think it's going to change the sound a little bit because Larry was like more of a punk drummer. He played single kick.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy is more of a double kick guy, so it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a little bit more choppy, and I think it's gonna be cool. We're excited. You know?
Yeah.
Have you guys? Well, he's learning all your previous stuff. Have you guys talked of writing anything with him, or are you gonna wait until it's ironed out that he's in the band, that kind of thing?
Oh, we're already writing stuff.
Yeah.
Like the last 2 times we got together, we wrote a real new song each time, and they're a little bit more technical, and they're hard. Like we got to get warmed up to play them. The other songs, we're like, okay, let's just play this and play that.
Well, that's a good sign.
We're like, man, let's get warmed up a little before we play that one.
Right. So yeah, we got one song like recorded, like a newer song, and then we got another one. It's already got lyrics to it, and the music's written, and we were going to have this new guy play on it too. So and record it, and it'll be like his introduction to.
Oh, on the end of the vinyl.
Yeah, on the well, we can talk about that too, but we got a vinyl edition of the new album Your Fault coming out pretty soon on Bluntface Records. So that's the plan anyway, is to have him on one of the bonus tracks.
Yeah, now that vinyl release of Bluntface, how did that come about? Talk about that a little bit.
I guess when I'll just kind of go back a year or so, and what happened was we initially were going to have another label put the vinyl out with just the 11 songs that are on Your Fault, and that label ended up like folding, closing up shop, whatever you want to call it, and so we kind of had to start from square one, and that was February of this year, I think. That's when the vinyl was supposed to come out in like February or March of this year. And so we was like, well, fuck it. We'll just put the cassette and the CD and the digital version out. And so that's what we did. And then the Bluntface deal, I happened to be friends with a lot of the guys on the label. And there was a change of CEO or manager or whatever of the label. And they had announced some initial plans for the label when he took over. He mentioned vinyl, and so half jokingly, I'm like, "Hey, man, would you want to do the new Gravehuffer album?" And he's like, "You know what, guys? You were the first band on our radar." So we're like, "Whoa, that's pretty cool." And so it was kind of the label's idea to put the bonus tracks on there, so exclusive to the vinyl. Mm-hmm. And so we recorded the one, and we decided to call it Your Fault. So the album's got a title track now. And Carlo Regadas, who used to be in Carcass, plays a guitar solo on that.
Oh, cool.
So that's badass.
Yeah, he does a great job on that.
I mean, it took the song to a whole other level, man. But yeah, that's kind of how that came about. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, is he from the area, or how'd you guys get in contact with him?
He lives in England.
Oh, okay.
In Liverpool. And it was through this internet station called Metal Devastation Radio. One of the DJs there, he has a show called Cottage of Blood. His name's DJ Hamo, and he's good friends with Carlo, and he suggested I hit him up on Facebook and send him a friend request, and I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. You know, the dude played in Carcass, like he's going to accept my friend request. He goes, no, he's a cool guy, you know. And so, anyway, Carlo played on the Swan Song album. And then he played on the, they had like a compilation, Wake Up and Smell the Carcass. He plays on some of that too. And then he also had a band with everybody but Bill Steer, and it was called Black Star. And then he's also got a band now called Monstrance. And then I heard them on the radio, and I was like, man, these guys are badass. And then that DJ at Metal Devastation is like, yeah, that's Carlo's band. I was like, whoa, that's cool. So anyways, I hit up Carlo on Facebook, and he accepted my friend request. He liked the Gravehuffer page without me even inviting him. And I was like, that's pretty cool. And one day he was on Facebook, and he posted something about doing a guest guitar solo on an album. And then here I go again, half jokingly. Hey, would you do a solo for Gravehuffer? He goes, oh, sure, mate. and so I'm like, man, serious? He goes, oh, yeah. I said, well, how much? I private messaged him. I said, well, how much are you going to charge for this? He goes, I'm not going to charge you. And I'm like, whoa. He goes, it's just on, you know, I'm flattered and humbled that you asked me. I'm like, man, this is wicked, you know. And so a couple months go by, and we wrote the song, we recorded it, and then I was like, man, I need to ask Carlo about that guitar solo. So I messaged him. I was like, hey, man, you remember me a couple months ago asking about that solo? And he goes, oh, yeah, I'm ready, man. So we sent it to him, and he recorded it, and man,
he knocked it out of the park, man.
It is beautiful.
That's great.
So how did that work? Did you just say do what you want, or did you give him any idea of direction to go?
No, we just said do your thing, and it's funny that what he laid down was kind of what I had in mind when I wrote the rhythm piece that goes underneath it, because it just kind of goes in half steps. And it's in this minor key, kind of like black metal on Quaaludes or something. and it has all. It makes it, when you solo over something like that, it gives it this real epic, grand kind of feel. And so he did all these harmonies and all these kind of like whammy bar scoops and stuff, and all these like arpeggios, and it's just.
And it's a long one. It's like 12 bars. You know what I mean?
Dude, it's almost 45 seconds, man. I mean, it's like a composition in and of itself. It's amazing.
Well, it's not too often a band has the title track as a bonus track on the reissue, right?
Yeah, I know, right?
But the lyrics, like, he didn't title it "Your Fault," but when he always reads us the lyrics and tells us what's going on, and then we think of a name together, but we're like, man, it sounds like your fault, you know?
Yeah, it does, man. It's like, because it's pointing the finger directly at somebody.
Yeah.
It really is, and a select few. Let's put it that way. And so it just made sense. So,
was there a release date for the vinyl?
I can't talk about it.
I can't talk about it.
I know, but the label doesn't want us to say anything yet. So
Gotcha.
It's going to be next. It's going to be. I think I can probably say it'll be late spring next year. I can't tell you the date, but
Okay.
Gotcha.
I can say definitely like beginning of the first quarter of next year. I would say maybe the end of the quarter.
Okay. Well, speaking of vinyl, do you guys personally collect vinyl?
Oh
Yeah, hell yeah.
yeah. I mean, when we wrote this record, we wrote it specifically to be on vinyl. That was
nice.
like the intent.
Yeah, that was the number one goal.
It really was.
We don't care about CD. We're like, dude, we have to get this on 12-inch, you know?
Yeah.
Because our bands before, we've been on 7 inches, but we just didn't have the 12-inch. To me, like, that makes it official, you know, like the big picture, and like, you're like, man, look at this, you know?
Right. Yeah, the artwork on the sleeve and pulling the big 12-inch vinyl out, putting the needle down, and that. I mean, we come from that school because we're all old.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd gotten back into it pretty heavy the last few years, and Jason did as well in the last couple of years. So
it's fun.
It is. Well, didn't you buy our cassette?
Yes, I did buy the cassette, which I'm kind of getting into that a lot too. Is I really like all the cassettes and finding old cassettes, and that's kind of one of the things we wanted to hit on. Talk about the cassettes and how that came about. And by the way, the whole red cassette thing is badass. I loved it.
I was like, yeah, that looks evil. But it's fun too. The whole cassette deal was it's on Reality Impaired Recordings, which they've been around
80s.
Dude.
Late 80s.
Late 80s, I think. Yeah, they were local, like Joplin label. And they pretty much do like super underground stuff and a lot of like just weird
like noise bands,
experimental stuff.
But the guy that runs it, he was doing like mail order like death metal stuff like in the early 80s. Like he was a pen pal with Dead. Like he has letters from Dead.
Wow, that's insane.
And this dude had the most insane vinyl collection you ever saw. He ran a distro, so he'd have like 1,000 records in his room, and you'd go up there and buy him a 7-inch for $3 or a 12-inch for like $7. And so we were there all the time buying all this
records,
crazy like black metal and death metal shit. Man, it was badass.
Yeah, I remember I bought a bunch of Samael and Berzoom stuff from him.
Yeah, he had Berzoom on vinyl, dude. Like, some like hand drawn shit on it. We're like, damn. Like he wrote to these guys like back in the day.
Yeah, it was like true cult.
But he won't do like he still does it today. But he won't get on. He won't like make a. I said, dude, you need to make an internet page or a Facebook page
or a website
or something.
Yeah.
And he won't do it, man. He's like so against the internet.
Yeah.
He just does mail order stuff, and like once a month, he sends me a package with zines in it that he's got reviews for us, and like stickers and like ads from like Poland and Belgium and Germany, and like, all these weird death metal bands trying to sell you shit, you know.
Yeah.
But he still does it today.
Yeah,
he's keeping it old school. That's insane.
Yeah.
So he's like, I have to do the cassette. And we're like, okay.
He was like really into the cassette. So
we're
like, cool, man. And the cassette was it was a lot of fun actually. Like coming up with a layout for that. And a good friend of ours, Steve, from a band called Brutally Frank, did that. And he did the layout for the vinyl and the CD and the cassette.
Yeah.
So That was a lot of fun putting that together.
Yeah, it came out great.
It did. It worked out good. There's a place in Springfield called National Audio Tape Company, and they did the cassettes, and they do like big time shit. Like they did the soundtrack for Guardians of the Galaxy on cassette. I mean, I
think they're one of the only ones left in the nation.
Yeah, they're like, they're always hopping at that place. But they do CDs too. They did our CDs also.
And they've been doing reality impaired stuff since the beginning. Like the cassettes they used to do.
Yeah, since like the late.
They'd go up there and buy like whole cases of cassettes, you know.
Yeah, and labels.
Because they had their own like duplicator.
Yeah.
Back in the day. So.
Yeah, you could do like 10 or 20 at a time.
Yeah.
I remember Roger doing our Satan's Ice Cream Truck tapes.
Yeah, it only took us like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Like 100 copies. Yeah. Like, hell yeah.
Yep. It was cool.
Well, I like the idea on the new USB cassette as well. That's clever packaging.
That was, I don't know how I got hooked up with that guy. He's in the UK, and it was on Twitter. Like, sometimes on Twitter we get some pretty wild shit going on over there. And the UK bands in the UK scene, they like Twitter a lot better than Facebook, it seems. Mm-hmm. And so there was some this female vocalist named Verity White. She likes us a lot, and she's a really good singer in her own right. But she said, "Oh, it's cool you guys have a cassette." And then she said, "Hey, Mark, the guy that does this audio books on tape thing, he's like, you ought to see about getting this Gravehuffer cassette on your USB thing." And I was like, huh, that's interesting. And so I just hit the guy up. And he's like, yeah, that'd be cool to do. And he goes, I've never done a music release. He does just all audio books and then stuff like that. And so this was his first music release. And so we just put all of our material on there. The first album, the second album, and then it's got like the lyrics and pictures, and it's got a 5-panel J card with the artwork for both albums on it.
It's got the videos.
It's got all 3 videos, like our official videos. The Kill for Sport video, which Mike did with a friend of ours, Brad.
Yeah, Brad Kester.
Brad Kester, the Skunkworks audio unit. And they animated it and drew it up themselves, scanned it into the computer, and it was, I don't know if you guys have seen that or not, but it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask you who did that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was us. Like, it took probably about a month.
Wow.
And it was a lot of drawing and stuff, but by the end of it, we're just laughing so hard, dude, it was totally worth it.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
It is. And then the Destroy All Worlds one Mike did, and it was, we just used some footage from, like Godzilla and some of the atomic bomb footage, because that's kind of what the song's about.
Yeah.
And Shut Up and Skate was a bunch of local skaters. Then we just got footage from their Instagram feeds and Facebook videos and just kind of put them all together. And we thought that'd be a kind of a cool tribute to the local skate scene.
Yeah. Well, you talk about new music and the couple tracks you wrote for the reissue on vinyl and everything. Is this, you're going to kind of push this album here for another year or so since you got the vinyl coming out? Or are you guys looking at doing more new music in 2018?
We'll probably, I don't know. We kind of haven't talked about that, honestly. I would guess we would want to push the vinyl, and then kind of like we were talking about with our drummer situation, since we haven't played a show in over a year, we're probably going to want to like get this Your Fault album pushed, because we haven't played shows since the album's come out. So we really haven't had time to get it out there and play it in front of people, even though we've played a lot of these songs in front of people prior. That's kind of what we did. We would write the songs, and then we play we're playing a new song tonight, And so they've been road tested, for lack of a better term.
Because sometimes they change. Let's change this. I don't like this right here.
Yeah, a few songs, they kind of changed. Gravehuffer, the song Gravehuffer changed a lot from when we initially wrote it. Can't remember any of the other ones. There's a couple of the songs we've only played maybe once live, but
yeah, when we get the drummer going, we'll be playing mostly this album.
Yeah, that's true.
And the new songs, because I want him to, if he's part of the writing process with us, it's going to sound a little different.
Right.
it's going to make him feel more included, like.
Yes, yeah. Especially if we have a song that he helped write, that he helped contribute. So yeah, we'll definitely. I would say we probably won't have anything new out again until 2019. That's my guess, but.
But we could, man. We've been jamming lately, once a week, and every time we jam, we write a new song.
I mean, it's true. It just depends on how things fall into place. And
I guess it's up to the drummer situation. If this guy falls right in, and all we have to do is freshen up on your fall, then we're going to be playing the new songs mixed in until we have enough. Like usually we play new songs, so we have enough for our album. We're like, okay, let's record it. Let's record these new songs.
Yeah. Yep, that's kind of how it works. And hell, we've got 3 new songs that aren't going to be on the. We got the one other bonus track that we have yet to record, and then we've got 3 new songs that are pretty much done, other than lyrics and the drum parts. But I mean, they're already arranged and laid out. So, I mean, I guarantee you, by the time the vinyl comes out, we'll probably have another album in the can.
Do the songs, do they just come out of jams, or is there like one, or 2 chief songwriters, or how do you guys split that up?
It's kind of a combination of both of those, really. Mm-hmm. Like Mike and I right now, we're kind of the only guys. I mean, it's just kind of by necessity that it's us 2 doing it right now. But generally speaking, we like to write with a drummer. I mean, that's how we feel most comfortable. Every once in a while, one of us would come in with an idea. Like Shut Up and Skate was totally Mike's thing. Destroyer of Worlds was kind of my thing. And then a lot of the other ones were just kind of written during jams. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, and...
Or somebody will come in with a riff or 2 riffs.
A riff or 2, like, I got a verse and a chorus.
And then we'll write it on the spot, Yeah. If the beat changes to something else, we're like, oh, no, let's do this instead.
We're going to have to change that part a little bit. Larry came up with something, and it's like, the feel's different now.
Yeah, it would steer it. It's nice when the drummer steers.
Yeah, I agree with that. And sometimes Larry would just start playing a beat. Well, that's what Prince with 1,000 Enemies came out that way. He just started playing this beat, and then Mike started playing the main riff, and then it was boom, boom. We had a riff, two verses and 2 choruses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like 15 minutes.
Yeah. And I was in the bathroom taking a shit when they did that. I remember being in the bathroom like, man, they're writing.
Right.
And I came out, I was like, that's badass. We got to use that. And they're like, okay, Ritchie, where's it going to go from here? And then that's when it came into like, not breakdown part, but kind of that kind of da-da, we went into that. And then that's just kind of how we write, I mean, I already kind of had an idea of where it was going to go when I was doing my duty. And so I was like, man, okay, I'm the wheels are turning, So, yeah. And then there was one, the Chains Around You. Mike came to practice one day, and he was like, hey, I want us to write a song that sounds like Dystopia. They're this like crust punk band from Oakland. And
I've been listening to Dystopia like all week long.
Yeah.
I was like, we need to do something kind of like this,
Yeah. And so I was like, okay. And so I just started playing that, and then we just wrote that song within an hour or something. And then James started kind of like, like scatting like vocals or whatever. And he started writing down ideas and lyrics on the spot. And I don't know, it's just a weird kind of melting pot of ideas and combinations of ideas.
Yeah, it depends on what kind of day you had. Like, if we're all happy and goofy, the song's probably going to be more lighthearted, like A Fish and Men or something.
Yeah.
Or it's not going to be so serious, but, if we're having all of us had a bad week or whatever, and it's going to be real heavy and dark and fast.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Or if we're stoned, or the other guys are stoned, it's going to be like kind of groovy.
Yeah, let's smash some groovy stuff.
That's right. This sounds like a tractor. Like Kill for Sport or something, I mean, but it totally depends on, our personalities to definitely come out.
Well, you guys, I've noticed you guys have several sponsors. You want to talk about the different ones or anything?
Yeah. That was another thing where it's a friend of a friend of a friend kind of deal had a string endorsement. And I was like, man, that's pretty cool. And that's kind of the thing about social media. You know, people kind of bag on it, but if you use it right in network, man, you can really get some cool things going on. And that's really the only reason we're here. And so, you know, I don't deal with the other stuff, but, you know, we're here for our music and to hang out with people who love music. And but anyway, that's kind of how we got with a lot of the endorsements. Von York Strings was the first one. And I noticed a lot of friends I was with that are in bands, a lot of them had those strings, and I was like, screw it, I'm going to try. And so I hit them up, and they approved me. And then I noticed a lot of the people that were endorsed by those strings were endorsed by Sinister Guitar Picks, and I was like, well, what the hell? And so I just kind of kept going, and then I got the Killer Bee guitar endorsement, and that was one where I was like, yeah, there's no way I'm going to get this. And sure enough, the guy that builds the guitars calls me up one day. He's like, hey, man, you want to talk about it? And I was like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And so one day on my lunch break at work, we sat and talked for about an hour about what kind of guitar he wanted him to build, excuse me. And I was like, man, do you do flying V's? And he's like, we can. I said, that's what I want, man. So what he's building me, it looks like a stealth bomber kind of thing.
Wow.
So I'm like so freaking stoked about that. And then Spectraflex cables was one where I kind of wanted them to look a certain way. And I was like, man, do you guys have a silver and black cable? And they're like, of course. And so they made me silver and black cables. And yeah, I mean, it's been kind of cool, honestly, you know. And I will say that this isn't free shit. I mean, it's discounted. Very nicely discounted, but it's not free.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of have to work up to the free stuff.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you help them sell some stuff, then you start getting bigger discounts, and it starts going into different tiers and stuff like that. I mean, unless you're like a huge established artist, that's kind of how the endorsements work.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's definitely a good thing, and they definitely help spread the word for us, and we do the same for them, and that's really what it's about. You know, they just want to be in a partnership with you. So I'm trying to get Mike and at least get him with Von York.
Yeah, I need to order some of those strings.
Yeah, just hit them up, man, and that way you can get your.
Well, I'm cheap. I just put strings on my bass like 2 months.
Yeah.
So the last pair lasted a year.
Right. Right.
Because you can boil them, dude. You know,
Yeah.
You boil them, they sound new again for like a couple of weeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm cheap, man.
Dude.
You guys did this Celtic Frost cover into the Crypts of Rays. Like, how did that come about? Whose idea was that?
We
pretty much everybody in the band loves like Celtic Frost, however you say it. But I can't remember. We did it in Initial Detonation. Yeah. Because the singer in Initial Detonation, he would sing it just like Tom G. Warrior did. Like he pronounced everything weird, you know.
Yeah. He had the Swiss accent down.
It was pretty funny.
It was hilarious.
He had every ooh and everything down. Man.
Every ooh and every hey. He did all that stuff. You know, I mean, you have to if you're doing Celtic Frost.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was like in the late '90s. We were doing that song. We played it one time live, I think. Wasn't it? At the skate park or something. I think Roger and Janine sat that one out.
No, wasn't that weird place had the Wicca Star in Oklahoma City? Remember, and the people were doing the fucking.
Oh yeah, that deal.
They're doing they're holding their hands like like gangsters do stacking.
They were doing it
like
with a pentagram.
Like their neighborhood, like these guys are making a pentagram, hand signals, and like headbanging, like big time, like. And
that's right.
It was in an old movie theater that was like an underground club, and on the wall was a giant a Wicca. What do they call that? A pentacle or something?
Pinnacle, yeah.
And our singer kept saying, "Hey, it's upside down." It was just, how come it's not up? How come you guys fucked up the pentagram? And they were getting all pissed. It's not a pentagram.
That's right. I forgot about that, dude.
It was pretty funny.
Yeah.
But it was definitely weird when they're like making those hand signals. I was like, "What is that?" And I was like, and then I figured out, it's a fucking pentagram, man.
Yeah, that's true.
That was fun though.
But yeah, we just like, we played it. You know, me, Mike, and Larry were, since we were in Initial Detonation, we were already familiar with the song, and James pretty much knew all the lyrics, and so it was like a no-brainer. It was like easy to do.
Yeah, he's like, I would love to do that song, man. So
yeah.
we started doing it.
We just started practicing it one day, and then we're like, fuck it, let's record it.
Yeah.
We used to do Hand of Doom, but when hearing James try to sing Ozzy, it was like, I don't like this.
It was weird.
It was weird.
Yeah, it was just sounded kind of weird.
So we
it's
stopped
a fun
doing
song,
that.
but
We should have just done an instrumental.
Yeah, that song is fun to play. We did In League with Satan, Venom. That was a fun one too.
What else did we do? We did Black Flag.
We did some Black Flag and Minor Threat. We do Motorhead, Iron Fist.
Nice.
I can see that working well with your guys' sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was that? Our drummer. He was the one that was real picky about covers. So we do it for about like 3 or 4 months. He's like, let's do something else. Let's start another song. And then that was a whole other endurance or a task of fucking Hercules trying to figure out what song he wanted to do because he'd like turn them down
every time.
So then we're like, okay, what song do you want to do? And what was it?
It was Minor Threat.
No, it was Iron Maiden. Remember the Iron Maiden song?
Wrathchild.
Wrathchild.
Yeah, we did Wrathchild.
And that song's not easy. You know what I mean? So like we get it down. We take it to him. We played through it like once or twice. He's like, oh, I don't like the way that sounds. We're like, God damn.
Yeah. Remember we did Napalm Death's version of Nazi Punk's Fuck Off. And I really wish we would have stuck with that one. That was a good one.
Yeah, he's like, I don't want to do a cover of a cover.
The version's badass, man. Yeah.
But yeah, he was like, we'd learn these songs and then he shoots them down pretty quick.
I don't know if that answered your question at all.
Sorry.
We kind of digress, man.
Well, if he's not there now, you kind of have more freedom to do whatever you want, right?
Well, I mean, if kind of, well, yeah, honestly. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, what kind of stuff do you guys listen to outside of the heavy stuff? Is there anything that might surprise someone?
Man, I listen.
Like
I try to listen to everything. I like. I used to download a lot of stuff. I get like high life music from Nigeria, like from the 70s, and like I listen to like 1920s blues. You know, like anything that Alan Lomax did, like traveled around and recorded, like a little bit of everything, man. You know, like reggae, dub. All kinds of stuff. Yeah,
I listen to a lot of metal, a lot of punk, a lot of rock. Hell, people probably wouldn't be too surprised by what I listen to, but I don't know. I tend to keep it on the heavy end, but no, I like to listen to a lot of stuff Mike listens to as well, like Miles Davis and Leadbelly and stuff like that too. My parents named me after Ritchie Blackmore.
Oh, nice.
That's cool.
I felt like, if I didn't play guitar or music in some capacity, I'd be a failure or something. But I mean, I grew up on all that stuff, and like Judas Priest is like my totally favorite band.
Yeah, I saw you got tickets.
Yeah,
that's gonna be a good show, man.
Oh God, yeah. So I'll be in Tulsa for that one.
Yeah.
I'm taking my oldest son. It's a day after his 15th birthday.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Is he the one they held?
Mm-hmm.
No shit. Did you take that picture or something?
Yeah, I probably will.
Like the son that he's taken, like they got to, when was that when you got to do that?
It was 2008, like the summer, August of 2008, I think. We went and saw him, and we got to meet the Priest dudes when KK was still in the band.
Oh wow!
And it's my Facebook cover photo actually. And Zach, my son, I'm taking to this concert. He's seen him. This will be his 4th time seeing him.
Wow!
And so the first time we saw him, he got to meet him, and then
he was like a little kid.
He's like 5 years
old.
old.
Rob Halford's like holding him.
Rob. So we get in there, and of course I'm starstruck, and I can't say shit.
Yeah.
And my wife's asking him all kinds of questions about lyrics, and Rob's like, speaking to my good ear. And so I guess Rob's kind of deaf in one ear. And so Rob asks my son, he goes, what's your name? And he goes, Zach. And he's like, Zach? That's a good name. Would you want to sit in my chair? So Rob picks him up and puts him on this chair. And
Oh, yeah,
Zach
that's what it was.
Zach still remembers that.
Yeah.
And Zach's like, I think it was when they were playing. Glenn Tipton's like, looks at Zach and he's like, "Hey," you could see him mouth the words, "Hey, Zach," and then Zach's like, "Hey, Glenn just said hi to me." And so at the end of the show, Glenn taps a security guard on the shoulder and hands him a pick, and he says, "Give it to that boy, Zach." And so the security guard handed the pick to Zach, and then Zach's like, "That's it. Me and Glenn Tipton are buddies."
Yeah.
And so, and so he remembered that too. So it's like he's so excited about it, and so I'm like, "Yeah, me too, buddy."
Because now, what, 17?
No, he'll be 15.
He's 15?
Yeah,
Is that his favorite band too? Still,
It's yeah, they're up there. I mean, he's got favorites in like a different genres, I guess. I think they're probably his favorite metal band. But he plays jazz band in school, and then he's in marching band. He plays trombone. So he's like always asking questions about, like, we'll be listening to something. He's like, "Dad, you realize that's in 6/8 time?" And what? Like, it's hilarious. That tempo change is nuts. And it's funny, man. He reminds me of me when I was that age. You know, you just break everything down and just like totally geek out on the music. So
we'll have to get together at that show.
Oh yeah, man.
Say what's up.
So are you guys going?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah, I got my tickets Wednesday.
Yeah, I did too. We're the 14th row from the center, like F something. The very first section up front.
Yeah, I don't know if it pissed him off or shocked him, but like I kept just refreshing for about an hour and a half. Like I wasn't satisfied with what I was getting.
He didn't have anything.
Oh, okay.
He just refreshed and
kept refreshing, and like at 11:30, I got second row.
Whoa!
Damn. Hell yeah.
Like an hour and a half after they went on sale. So.
Wow. Yeah, I got mine at like 10:30, and mine was 14th row.
Yeah, so you guys could probably find each other.
Oh yeah, I'm sure we could probably find each other.
oh yeah, for sure.
That's cool.
It ain't like it used to be when you used to go to a metal show. Like if you had a friend that had long brown hair and a jean jacket with patches, you know,
Yeah, like
and you got divided up. You're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Where the hell is he?
Which dude with patches and the jean jacket?
And brown, long
narrow it
brown
down.
hair.
Right.
fucking curl in his back pocket. You know?
Yeah.
White high tops.
White high tops. Egg pants. Yeah.
Black t-shirt.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Well, it's still that way, at least with the black t-shirts.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
There's still in Oklahoma City. There's still a couple guys that will show up to these shows with the tight jeans and the white puffy high tops and everything.
Yeah, awesome.
And I mean, they're living it, man.
Hell yeah, man. That's awesome.
That's
I
cool.
love it. There's a band here called Sardis. Their guitar player, that's what he wears.
Yeah, he's like
Yes.
totally into that whole thrash, like 90s thrash.
Yeah. Yep, the white high tops, and I mean, he looks like he's in Creator, like in '89.
Yeah, he does. Those guys are really good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I still love that guy. I still love me some Creator.
Yeah, that new album from last year is pretty badass.
Yeah, it was. Man, they ever since like Violent Revolution or whatever, they just keep freaking pounding out great stuff, man.
Right on, guys. Well, we appreciate your time.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, thank
Hell
you.
yeah.
Like I told you earlier, we'll try to have this thing up on Halloween.
Oh, cool. Nice. Sounds good, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, thank you.
Thanks for your time.
Yep.
Yeah, no problem.
Take care.
There you go, Ritchie and Mike from Gravehuffer. Thanks a ton to them for taking the time out to talk to us and about everything they got going on. Really looking to hearing the vinyl of this because kind of like they said, they recorded it with the intention of it being on vinyl, and you can hear that when you listen to Your
It's
Fault.
going to be great. I can't wait.
Yeah, so look for that this coming spring. And in the meantime, get on their page and like them. They've got all kinds of kick-ass stuff. They got that USB cassette that has all their songs and all their videos on it. They've got the cassette, like you said, you purchased. And
Yes.
of course, you can get CDs and MP3s and T-shirts and whatnot.
That's right. Another one of Joplin's finest.
Definitely. Yeah, man, you think of Gravehuffer and Crane Technique. These are two bands that we've kind of latched onto as bands that we love. And,
Definitely.
you know, when you think of Joplin just off your head, you don't think of badass metal. I mean, at least from my experience, because I'm not from there, but maybe if you're from there, you do.
But it's happening.
Yeah. Well, speaking of t-shirts, buy one of ours. You can hit us up at thethunderunderground@gmail.com or on Facebook, of course. Facebook.com/thethunderunderground. Twitter, THNDRUNDR We're also on Instagram and YouTube. Both of those are at The Thunder Underground. And then, of course, SoundCloud.com/Thunder-Underground has all the previous episodes. Man, early in that interview, one of them mentioned Chad Malone.
Yep, we've had him on.
Go back,
listen to that one.
That's a good one we don't mention enough. And then, of course, Chad Malone is part of the Old Capitol Underground documentary, which should be out in the coming months. And we had all three of the filmmakers of that one on. So be sure and check that out. And then we've had on, guys from Corrosion Conformity. Why did I just draw a blank after one band? Seven Dust, Kiss. Anyway, The Obsessed. He is Legend.
Drowning Pool.
Yeah.
I'm drawing a blank too.
How come?
It's been a long day, man.
How come the more episodes we do, the harder it is to remember the people that's been on here?
Because my brain is I've killed too many brain cells in my day.
Right.
But I do know, getting back to the t-shirt thing, if you order a t-shirt, Trent will go ahead and include a worn pair of his boxers in the envelope too. So that's a bonus, free of charge.
Are they Thunder Underground boxers, or are they just...
I don't know. I don't know what kind of boxers you wear. That's your deal.
Okay. But they've got to be worn?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. After, mowing the lawn or something.
So, if you're our age or older, this is similar to, when you could, get worn clothes from Mark Slaughter out of the back of Metal Edge.
Win Mark Slaughter's pants.
Yeah. Wasn't that a thing you could do?
Yeah. I wonder whoever won those, if they still have them today.
Man, that'd be
and how much would they be worth?
If we ever have Mark Slaughter on here, we should just bring that up.
Go ahead. Yeah, we should. He seems like a nice guy. We should just ask him.
Because we can't get Jerry Miller on here. I tried to friend her on Facebook, and she hasn't accepted it.
She just wasn't having it, huh?
Right.
That'd be a good interview. She'd have some stories.
Yeah. Speaking of Metal Edge, you see Perry Richardson from Firehouse is now in Striper.
I know that community is thrown on its ear now. What a lineup change.
Right.
And you see that picture? He doesn't have his red hair anymore. It's all white.
But it's still extremely big and curly.
But that's how we know we're getting old.
Well, anyway, speaking of that, Firehouse, Bill Leverty has been on this podcast before.
Yes. God, we got on off another. Yeah. It's a long fucking day, man.
If you're a Gravehuffer fan, you're probably like, what the fuck's wrong with these guys?
Yeah, they turned it off already. Oh, Jesus.
Well, if you're a Gravehuffer fan and it's your first time, we appreciate it. Hope you go back and listen to some of those old episodes. The Sword, Death Angel. Lots of great heavy stuff. And we're every Monday night on 102.7 WSNR.com, 7 p.m. Central. We stream there every Monday night, like I said. Glad to be a part of that. And you can listen to us on SoundCloud and YouTube. All right. You need to talk about anything else?
No,
Kevin Spacey? Nothing?
I'm
nothing
done.
Okay.
No, God. Just
okay.
turn it off.
All right. Until next time.
Thunder Underground, y'all.